Chapter 11, Cognitive Models and the Theory of Academic Motivation, Part 3, by Mayra Bernal, Sonia Klausner, and Wendy Rivera. We'll continue with implementing a learning goal orientation with recognition and support. As part of recognition and support, there has to be a teacher acknowledgement of student effort. Praise has to be clear, contingent, and credible. So there has to be an effort by the teacher displaying adequate praise to students that are putting effort towards mastery. There has to be positive expectations towards the students, so the students can feel as if they can do it. They receive feedback and suggestions from the teacher for improvement. There is also necessary for peer work where students can help each other out, and it suggests pairing up high ability students with some that are a little bit more that are struggling a little bit more. The nature of learning indicates that learning is a process. You could learn by seeing, hearing, and doing. Understanding and improvement, always striving to make your learning better, getting better understanding of the topic, and that mistakes aren't errors, but they are indicators that there needs to be a shift in strategy. More adaptive patterns of learning and engagement. There has to be teacher caring and support, opportunities to interact with classmates about classwork, something collaborative, or PBLs where they will help each other and monitor each other's work. There also has to be teacher encouragement in order for the students to feel like, yes, they can master a certain topic. Developing programs for motivational change. There has been a decline in positive motivation beliefs, especially in the middle school. Middle school students don't view school as a pleasant place. When studying 12 countries, the United States placed 6 of 12 in having students feel like they receive adequate teacher support, and they also received 10 out of 12 in perceptions of peers as accepting, kind, and helpful. And there are two approaches for motivational change. The first one is fostering reading engagement, and this is kind of having dear time or having a reading club, something where they will be engaged in reading. There is also a second approach, which was Project High Places, where schools establish small learning environments to engage students in more deeper level of learning. They saw that it was very helpful that it engaged these students to kind of make the connections with the peers and their teachers that are really committed to learning. Some recommendations for the attribution theory. You need to ensure that the child has capability of doing the work. You don't really want to set them up for failure, and you don't want to reinforce low ability. Second is to encourage student attributions to the use of strategies. You don't want the students to focus on ability or effort, which may hurt their self-esteem in case failure occurs. Third step would be to combine attribution training and strategies instruction. This is only suggested when a student doesn't understand the relationship of the use of strategies and success or failure. The fourth step is the use of peer models, either live or video, instead of indirect teaching methods of demonstrating the effects. So you want actual students helping each other out or having visuals where students are using these strategies. And the fifth step is to avoid large group attribution training, so that you want to avoid any public student embarrassment. It has there are 3 steps for planning an attributional change program. The first step is to develop an analysis of attributional cues that signal child's failure. Second step is to implement alternative teacher behavior. There has to be legitimate positive comments for both the effort and the accuracy of work. So instead of just focusing on having the students understanding it 100% or reaching the mastery level, you want to recognize the effort put in by the students. And there also is group activities, and this will foster the importance of developing alternative strategies to reach goals and to set realistic goals. Issues, however, for motivation, there is a relationship between disruptive behavior and the classroom goals. There is a higher instance of disruptive behavior when the classroom values are the demonstration of ability. Students will usually point out the smart kids or the not smart kids. And when the classroom is focused on just the ability, then there is going to be more instances of disruptions. There is lower instances of disruptive behavior when the classroom values focus more on learning and understanding and the effort put in by the students. There is also a second issue called learned helplessness, where students attribute failure to the lack of ability, not their actions. So they kind of just say, I'm not that smart, school's not for me, instead of what are they doing to that kind of causes them to fail. There are 3 goals to overcome it. The first is to redirect student focus, to have the students have more of an understanding and lessen the fear of failure. So don't really try to scare the kids that they're going to fail, but have more of an understanding of their concept. The second is to retrace their actions and problem-solving strategies, and the third is to attribute failure to inadequate effort, not lack of intelligence. So it could have been a lack of preparation instead of not being smart enough, which may have been the cause of their failure. In the educational applications, the values of success differ for the American culture and other cultures. The American views success as the individual who outperforms others in competitive situations, while in other cultures, they view success as group accomplishment and cooperation. So, for the attribution theory, success emphasizes accomplishment through effort and exercise of learned skills. So, we need to shift our paradigm from the American view of success into the other culture's view. The classroom issues, the motivational theory doesn't really go into directly address the individual differences or the learning characteristics. However, the readiness for learning, there has to be the low expectancy for success, low task value, adoption of performance avoidance, work or failure avoidance, goal orientation, and attributions lack of ability. The sources of motivation are the student characteristics and classroom processes, such as supporting mastery, goal orientation, teachers' effective reactions to student success and failure, support for autonomy, and recognition and support of effort. The cognitive processes and instruction, there are 3 cognitive issues. The first is the transfer of learning. The second is teaching problem-solving strategies. And the third is learning how to learn skills. And these how to learn skills will be most effective in classes with mastery goal orientation, to where the students are setting their mindset to mastering a goal instead of just trying to get A's or being the top of the class. Implications for assessment. There is alternatives for the A through F grading system, which are not really in line with the classroom that focuses on mastery. There are alternatives. The first one is Benjamin Bloom's mastery learning model, where the students could master subject matter if given additional time. The setback with that model is that there may be a lack of time. As you know, teachers are always crunching to get as much information within the calendar, so this may or may not help a teacher out in the end. The second alternative is different forms of assessment, such as the formative or summative. In the formative assessment, the teacher will give the student feedback. They'll try to monitor student misunderstanding or errors, and any of the students that do exhibit any type of misunderstanding or receive a failure will receive additional instruction. The second type of assessment is portfolio assessments, which would be a collection of students' work that displays student efforts, progress, and achievement. And it is very important to establish purpose and instructional goals and specify the type of work needed to show mastery. The social context for learning. Classrooms with mastery goal orientation establish a climate that facilitates learning. There is a support for student development and use of self-management skills. These classrooms will try to avoid competition and provide reasonable challenges. So it's trying to reach more of a group effort of making sure everybody understands and masters the goal that was set for them. And the teacher is viewed as an important source of information for students' belief of their ability. The teacher is there to usher the kids and make them believe that they can master this. And they're not there really to criticize or to beat them down in case they don't really understand right then and there. The relationships to other perspectives. The main differences between motivation and other perspectives are that motivation, the learner is the major factor. That learning is developed through beliefs about engagement. The similarities is that success is attributed to effort or ability, and there is a positive self-efficacy, and students will eventually become self-regulated learners. In order to develop a classroom strategy, there is a need for proactive strategies instead of reactive strategies. There needs to be ways where teachers can be proactive in the classroom instead of just reacting to the students' effort or lack of effort. There must be a change in climate that emphasizes the process of learning rather than just the end point or needing to reach the end point. And there needs to be a reinforcement that of the belief that learning is acquired through constructive effort, that it's a team effort and that everybody can do it. I hope you enjoyed our three-part presentation for Chapter 11. Thank you.